There is a massive misconception around how many back exercises you actually need to do in order to train your back. I, for one, when I used to go to the gym, used to spend hours in the gym doing a series of back exercises, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 back exercises, thinking I was doing something. I was, but I was doing far too much. After I did a bit more research and after I understood, obviously, the functions of the back and the functions of building muscle, I realized you don't actually need to do 5 or 6, 7 exercises. You don't need to do 4. When it comes to training the back, you only need to do 3 exercises. Yep, just 3 exercises. So what are those 3? So before we kind of go into understanding the role of the back, we need to understand the anatomy of the back, so the muscles which are contained within the back itself. You think about the structure of the back, you have, I like to break it down or oversimplify this into 2 sections. One, you've obviously got the upper back, and in the upper back you've got the traps, your rhomboids, and your rear delts. And then you've got the second part of the back, okay, which is like the second half, so to speak. I like to call that the lats. Or I don't like to call it the lats, it's called the lats, okay? So latissima dorsi, but we're gonna call it the lats because it's just easier to say. A man can't say latissima dorsi, lats. Yeah, let's do that, all right? So we've got upper back and we've got lats. Now when we think about the upper back and the lats, these essentially make up the back, okay? And when we're thinking about training the back, that's what it's made up of. Now, some of you are going to be like, what about the lower back? Well, the lower back, i.e. the erector spine day, I would obviously say we'd include that on the leg day. So obviously I will do another video on the only leg exercises that you need. But when I think about training the lower back, we'd think about exercises that we'll typically do on the leg day, okay? For example, a deadlift. But let's leave the lower back out of this. I'm just gonna focus more on the lats and the upper back because that's what makes up the main part of the back. When people are thinking about training the back, those are the muscles that they're thinking about kind of showing off. Those are the muscles that, you know, they want girls to hold on to. Or guys, if that's your thing, but you know, most people watching this is probably girls. But yes, the back. What are those 3 exercises? So the first exercise is any sort of horizontal pull. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell is a horizontal pull? Well, it's sort of any sort of row variation. As you pull, your elbows are coming in towards the side of your torso. That essentially is going to allow you to work more of the lats. My personal favorites when it comes to horizontal pull would be anything like, you know, a chest supported T-bar row, chest supported dumbbell row, any of those 2 exercises which are nice and stable, which will be effective for obviously training your lats. So exercise 1 is any sort of horizontal pull where your elbows are coming in and they're tucked in. Quick one also, if you're wondering what's at the back, is my TikTok plaque, which they sort of gave me for getting 1 million followers, not bragging, but yeah. Man is on that short form content vibe. So yeah, I've not really got a YouTube plaque because I'm still new to this. You're probably thinking, why is that TikTok plaque in the back? But yeah, just in case you are, which you probably wasn't. Just side note. But anyway, back to the video. Exercise 2 is any sort of horizontal pull variation again, so another row. But as you row, as opposed to your elbows being tucked in, your elbows are slightly flared. Like so. So come here like this, come up. And as they're slightly flared and you pull, they're going to obviously allow you to work what would be your upper back. So the upper back muscles, which we discussed, i.e. your rhomboids, your traps, your rear delts, will train your upper back, okay? So as you are rowing, you want to kind of elevate your elbow slightly. And as you row, as opposed to obviously having them coming in towards the thighs of your torso like you would with the first variation, you'll obviously have them coming slightly up. So you want your elbows to be around shoulder height, around 45 degrees from your torso. So your first 2, just to recap, first exercise, horizontal pull, which is a row variation with your elbows tucked in. And the second exercise is another horizontal pull, but again, another row variation, but with your elbows slightly flared. That, technically, you're thinking, well, that will cover all areas of the back. Yes. But there is one more. Exercise 3, so any sort of vertical pull variation. Now, technically, with the first 2 exercises, you can see, technically all areas of the back covered. However, the reason why you did the vertical pull, and for those thinking, well, what the hell is a vertical pull? Essentially, any sort of pulling variation, like a lat pull down, a chin up, or pull up. Now, the reason why it's important to add a vertical pull in there, even though you technically would have all the areas of the back covered with the first 2 exercises, is because it's good to work each muscle through its different ranges and different angles. So that allows you to obviously maximize growth and obviously allows you to obviously kind of hit the muscle through different angles, which in this capacity, or in this case, shall I say, would be important, okay? So any sort of vertical pull variation. My personal favorites is obviously, you know, you can't go wrong with your standard lat pull down. When it comes to doing a lat pull down, the position of your elbows as you pull will still allow you to target specific parts of the back. So for example, As you're pulling through your lat pull down, if your elbows are slightly flared as you pull down, that will obviously allow you to hit more your upper back. If your elbows are slightly tucked in or you do an underhand grip, that will obviously still allow you to target more of the lats when it comes to your vertical pulls.
So obviously a key part to also consider is, whilst we're also talking about the different parts and different segments of the back, or training the back, so to speak, we need to understand that we can only bias each aspect of the back or each muscle included in the back. We can't necessarily isolate any specific muscle that we may find. Obviously on the back, I say we may find, like, we find certain muscles in certain backs versus others, but we'll talk about the human back, right? The reason I say that is obviously people just go, all right, cool, what is it I can do to obviously only kind of isolate my upper back? You can't really isolate your upper back. Anytime you move your elbows and you move it towards your torso in any capacity, you're going to work all those muscles, all right? So whether it's any of the upper back muscles or the lower back muscles, you're going to work them. If you do a lat pull down, you're always going to be working your lats in some sort of capacity, whether your elbows are tucked in, whether they're under, whether you do an underhand grip, wherever it might be, the lats are going to be trained. Obviously, you can change or slightly adjust the positioning of your elbows in order to obviously hit the upper back. But for the most part, okay, when you are training your back, especially in this capacity, you're going to be essentially hitting all the muscles as you move them. Now, depending on what you're doing with your elbows, you're obviously going to allow yourself the opportunity to target more muscles versus others. So yeah, just a quick disclaimer.
So as far as your back is concerned, those 3 exercises have you completely covered. Now, can you do more exercises if you want? Yes, of course you can do more exercises if you want. You can do 8, 10, 12 exercises. Some of you love going to the gym, and if you love going to the gym, you love training your back, then by all means do so. But obviously those are the only 3 exercises that you need. Between those 3 variations, you are pretty much covered. Now you could break those variations across the week, or you can obviously have them kind of tucked into one day in one session if you want to do a back day, or if you've got like a pull-based workout, whatever it might be. But those are the only 3 exercises that you need in order to obviously effectively train and grow the back. I would argue that you could even just get away with the first 2 variations as well, and obviously you'd make a decent amount of progress just doing those 2. Hopefully that's of help. And some of you after watching this will probably spend less than 2 hours in a gym and probably go to an hour in a gym. But yeah, see you in the next one.